Hi everyone, this is Sharan here. Welcome to my channel. Today in this video, we are going to see about three commonly asked interview questions. What is the rationale behind it? What are all the various concepts that you are expected to know in these interview questions? Like how should your response be? I'm going to help you with understanding the various concepts so that you can better respond if someone is asking you these questions in your interview. The first one that we are going to cover is what are all the various assumptions that we made while using an linear regression model. What happens if those assumptions are not met? So what happens if we use linear regression model in a scenario where the assumptions are not being met? The second one is why random forest algorithm outperforms so many other algorithms. Like what are all the various advantages? What actually happens in a random forest that makes it so good for various scenarios? And the third one is what is A/B testing? Like there are a number of scenarios for us, especially if you are going for an interview like at a product-based company. So then there will be a lot of A/B testing scenarios that would be running. So you need to know what is A/B testing, like what happens in it, what are the advantages of it, what are all the various scenarios where you can use A/B testing. So these are all the various three questions that we are going to cover today. Coming to the first question, what are all the various assumptions while using a linear regression model? So the first basic assumption is linearity. So when we use linear regression model, what we assume is we assume the relationship between the independent variables, the various features that we use, that we provide as input to the algorithm, and the dependent variable are linear. So the second assumption is independence. The various observations that we have, the assumption is each of those observations are independent from each other. So let's say we have about like 10,000 records, like 10,000 observations that is being used. So the other expectation is each of those observations are independent from one another. The third assumption is based on the normality. So what it means is for any fixed value of an independent variable, the dependent variable is normally distributed. So this is one of the observation like which is based on the normal distribution. The data should be normally distributed. So for any fixed value of an independent variable, the dependent variable, the variable that we are going to predict, should be normally distributed. The other assumption is like based on the homoscedasticity. So what it says is that the variance of the residual, or what we can say is the variance of the error, is consistent for any of the values of the independent variable. So whatever be the value of an independent variable, the range of the error that we are going to get, the variance of the residual or the variance of the error, is consistent for various values of the independent variable. So these are all some of the basic assumptions that we are making while using the linear regression model. So what you need to do is, while using the linear regression model, you need to ensure that all these important assumptions are being satisfied. So what happens if these assumptions are not being satisfied? What happens if you use linear regression model in a particular scenario where some of these assumptions are not being met? So what happens is, when there is an minor deviation, let's say there are like a very few scenarios, like only like maybe one of the assumptions are being not met. So when there is a slight deviation, what happens is there will be there is a chances of high bias in the prediction that we are going to make. If the assumptions are not totally met, if the assumptions are like totally off, like let's say we are using an linear regression model on a data set where none of these assumptions are being met, so then what would happen is the prediction that we are going to get will be totally like unrelated, like it will be totally off the chart. It will be totally like nowhere close to the average model that could perform for that particular scenario. So it is really required for us to understand about the assumptions behind each of the predictive algorithm that we are going to use, and it's important for us to ensure that all those assumptions are being met. So these are all the various assumptions for a linear regression model, and when you use linear regression model, you need to ensure that all these assumptions are being met. So coming to the second question, like why random forest algorithm works so well in so many different scenarios? Like what is the reasoning behind it? What are all some of the advantages of a random forest algorithm that makes it so good for a number of scenarios? So the first one is random forest algorithm uses an batting approach, which is an ensemble model technique. So what we try to do is we try to build multiple models and we take the average of all those models. So when you use an ensemble model, it is always going to outperform any single model that can be used in order to make the prediction. The other advantages of random forest algorithm is it can be used for a non-linear boundary, like a data set which is non-linear. It can be used for both the classification and regression problem. It can be used on a data set which has a number of which has a combination of both numerical as well as categorical attributes. It can be used for a problem where the numerical attributes are in different scale. The reason behind all these things are like random forest algorithm makes use of decision-based, makes use of rule-based prediction. So hence, it doesn't really matter whether we have a numerical attribute, whether we have a categorical attribute, what is the scale of the different attributes that we are going to use. It doesn't matter at all when we are going to use random forest algorithm. So that makes it so special. So when we are going to use random forest algorithm, there is very little transformation that we need to do. If we are going to use any other algorithm, for example, let's say SVM algorithm or any linear regression algorithm, so what happens is all those algorithms comes with its own assumptions, and we need to ensure that the data is suitable for those models. Whereas in case of random forest, the random forest is so flexible. It can be used for a number of different scenarios, and hence there is very less effort that is required in order to identify whether like random forest is suitable or not. Like most likely, whatever be the data set that you are working on, be it whether classification or regression, like random forest algorithm by default is going to give you some kind of a benchmark prediction, and then maybe you can try a different algorithm, see if you are able to beat random forest. And the other advantage is it can also be used to identify the important features, the features that holds maximum information. So then this can be later used as an input, like while building the model, maybe using another algorithm. So whether you end up using random forest for making the prediction or not, random forest will definitely make some good contribution and will help you in coming up with some good insights while like building the model. And hence many data scientists prefer using random forest because of all these advantages. The last question for today is, what is A/B testing? So when someone is asking you what is A/B testing, so they are expecting you to know like what is A/B testing, like what are all the scenarios where A/B testing is used. So A/B testing is not something common like across many data scientists, because like A/B testing is mostly used like in a product-based company, and maybe a company that has a website, maybe a company which sends out various marketing campaigns. Whereas a majority of other cases, like for example, if you take an energy retail or financial sectors, most of the data scientists will be working on customer-centric problems. So like they don't really work on scenarios where it is required to use A/B testing. So there are many, like it is very common to know like many data scientists who are not aware of A/B testing or who have not used A/B testing. So when someone is asking you this, like they are expecting you to know what is the basic definition of A/B testing, what are all the various scenarios where A/B testing can be used, and what is the methodology behind it. So you need not have any working experience of using A/B testing. Like you need to know what it is. That should be enough in order to create an impact in your interview. So what is A/B testing? We are experiencing A/B testing like in a number of applications that we are using. So maybe be it social media applications, or be the websites that we are going through, like whatever blogs, the advertisements that comes up in those blogs. So all these are all the various scenarios where A/B testings are being used. So what actually happens? So what actually happens is, by using A/B testing, we are going to divide the audience into two different groups, control and test group. So we are going to publish the same information, maybe with minor changes, and then see how is the response of the audience, like in the control group as well as in the test group. And then we are going to see which performs better as compared to the other one. So let's say there is a marketing campaign that we want to launch. So one of the marketing campaign as a banner with a red background. There is another marketing campaign. There is the same marketing campaign, with only difference is there is a banner which is in blue color. So the only difference is one has a banner in red and the other one has the banner in blue. So we want to know which one is more attractive, like which one is getting more attention from the user, which one is translating to more actions from the customer. So what we basically do is we divide the customer into two different groups, like control group and test group, and then we pass on these two groups with these two different options to see how they react, which is then better. So then what we do is we use statistics based techniques such as t-test in order to identify whether there is any significant difference between these two, whether there is a group which performs better as compared to the other. So why it is useful? So it is useful in order to understand which is gaining better attention of the customer. So what we can do is we can make use of the option that performs better. So what are all the various limitations? So when someone is asking you about A/B testing, like they would expect you to know about some of the limitations, like what are all the various scenarios where maybe it can't be used. So A/B testing can be used when you are trying to do multiple changes at the same time. So A/B testing can be used because A/B testing will help you to understand the difference. Like when you have one difference between like one difference across two different groups, it is easy to measure. Like we can know for sure that whatever is the difference that is contributing to the results, to the outcome. So when we have multiple differences, let's say apart from the banner which is in different color, let's say the text format are different, let's say there are different images that are used in those campaigns. So then we are not able to attribute the difference to any one of these changes. There are multiple changes that has happened, so we can't contribute the results to any one of these changes. So when we are using A/B testing, we need to ensure that we take only one change at a time. So we take one change at a time, we see which one is performing better, and then we go on to the next one. Like we take maybe the next change, and then we see whether there is any significant difference between the two groups. So that is the concept behind A/B testing. So basically A/B testing is to understand whether there is any difference between like two options that we have. So it is basically a randomized control experiment which helps us to understand, to run different experiments and then to understand which options performs better. So that is it about A/B testing. I hope you have learned something new in today's video. I hope you have learned some new concepts while explaining these various interview questions. And if you come across any of these questions in your interview, I hope you can respond to those questions much better. If you know anyone who is trying to get into a data science career, who is trying to struggle in their data science interview, please share this video with them. I have a series of interview related videos where I talk about some of the commonly asked interview questions and what are all the various concepts to help you to better articulate or to better respond in your interview. So that is it for now, and see you in another session. Bye until then.